baby, it's Pod in the City, and today we are getting into it. And how And Just Like That ruined our beloved Carrie Bradshaw.
Main character energy.
What happened?
OG. Final boss.
Guys, if you're just joining us, maybe you've stumbled upon this video and you love Sex in the City, or you hate watch And Just Like That like us, make sure you hit subscribe, that you hit like, and that you hit share. Please, it helps us out. Could you also leave a comment? Maybe you hate us. Write us a comment that says, I hate your guts and I hope you
that'll
die.
go over well. We'll be
fine by me. I don't care. It's engagement, baby. Or if you really like us, you know what you can really do? Help a bitch out and go to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/podinthecity. We do extra episodes every week. This week, it's Vanderpump Rules. Not next week, the next week, Smash. And more Vanderpump Rules. And Drag Race All-Stars Season 2. And Pillow Talk. I mean, we do a bunch of stuff, though. We did get a recent exit survey saying that we don't post as much as they would like us to.
Okay, that was like from months ago, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, recent? All right.
It was from like 2 days ago. Whoever left that, I still love you, but I don't know how much more we can physically post. On our Patreon, we post about
spend most of my life in this chair. So.
Amanda's skin has begun to fuse to the chair. You guys remember that episode of, what was that, X-Files or something? Do you remember that? Amanda just pulled a cat out of her ass. All right, guys, today, okay, we have done a few of these so far, all right? We're dropping them every Wednesday. We're also doing lives every Friday that you can join us for. And all I have to say is...
So as Demi Lovato would say, sorry, not sorry.
Such a bad line reading. It's like the worst line reading ever. Like, give her another take.
Demi Lovato. So we've done, last week it was how they ruined Charlotte. We've already done how they ruined Miranda. We've talked about how Carrie and Big were toxic AF. And how Che was a terrible decision for this show. And really how Michael Patrick King was the one who started it all. But today, we can't. We'd be remiss, whatever, if we didn't talk about what happened here. I mean, I know that over the years now, people have really been coming out with a lot of think pieces about how Carrie isn't that good of a friend and is actually a terrible piece of shit in the day. But I remember watching Sex in the City and being able to feel a connection to the character of Carrie Bradshaw. Sure, maybe I wasn't like as hot and skinny as she was and didn't chain smoke cigarettes and, you know, fuck 50 million guys around town.
She sure made that smoking cigarettes look cool, didn't she?
She did. She really did. But I felt like this character had qualities that I can relate to, especially in that era of growing up with this, of watching it and being like, oh, I mean, yes, it's not true to reality completely, but she had experiences that you're like, wait, I've felt that. Wait, I've had a guy who I thought maybe I should or shouldn't, or, you know, what other things did you like really drew you to the character? Like,
I think the thing, okay, I think Michael Patrick King fell ass backwards into her being this relatable because we've had this discussion several times of everyone realizes Carrie to be a flawed character. Now, I am staunch in my opinion that they did not mean to do that. They did not mean to write her as being flawed. I think that this is a surprise to everyone involved that people are now looking back going, oh, she's kind of a bad friend and kind of a narcissist. I think that's a surprise to everyone involved. It works though. They did write her very, very problematically, but I don't think they meant to.
Now,
maybe that's why it works.
With their avoidance on the topic of the cancellation of And Just Like That, they were pretty bad at acting. So are we thinking they could really hold that story?
I think they were like, I think in present day, they're like, oh, okay. But I think but again, most of us our age who continued to watch And Just Like That, we were in our 20s that were like in our late teens, early 20s was a major fan base. And that's why I think that's why we all related to Carrie, because she acted in this very narcissistic, bad friend way, immature. So us in our early 20s really related to her, but she's actually 34, 35, 36 in the series.
Yeah, she also came off as really cool. I
She
mean,
did come off as really cool, but like now as a 43-year-old watching this, she is like a really bad friend, and like the way she turns the conversations back to her, but like you didn't see it in your 20s like that.
well, I think the things that they really like, if MPK and whoever were gonna do a retrospect on Sex and the City in their mind, what do you think would be like the 3 words or whatever they would choose to describe Carrie as? Because I feel like they've lost the translation into And Just Like That. It's like they focused on the wrong things.
Agree. Good point.
They pulled out items that they thought but the problem is they also say they don't care what we think we want because they know better for us.
Let's name the 3 things. But I think that the number 1 thing that they didn't bring from the first series is comedy. That Carrie was funny.
Yeah.
She's a funny and lighthearted. That might be another like kind
Fun.
of
She was
fun.
a fun person.
Yes. Not a great
So though,
but
see,
fun.
that is something they decided to that's not one of the 3 words they took in to the new one.
Fun or funny. Those are the like 2.
I'm gonna say that they wanted to like represent Carrie, like they thought she's intelligent because she's a writer.
Intelligent and also like marches the beat of her own drum. Like she's fashionable, but I think in the way they present her fashion, it shows how like out of the box she is and how non-ordinary she is.
I think that they kind of failed in the translation into And Just Like That, because that is another thing that I thought, like, I think if they were going to say Carrie Bradshaw is this, and then it'd be like fashion.
I wonder what they would think.
I really do too. I think that
do you think
because he sees himself in Carrie?
They all do. All the writers, when they all say, and the Writers Room podcast, my favorite podcast in the world, they all say that when they are writing for Carrie, they're picturing themselves as Carrie, which is also why the character is inconsistent, because it's a bunch of different people writing.
I'm sorry. I've never gone to script writing school or whatever. I mean, I'm assuming you learn this somewhere. I'm going to say I'm highly doubting that anyone would say, hey, jump into this show with a character that's been going for 20 years and you just write it like it's from you.
Right, because then if you do that, then you're going to be sensitive to the character, and you're not going to be able to admit when there are faults or things to change, because you're going to be.
It's also then not that character.
No,
it's okay to watch like, oh my God, I'm becoming agitated. They should have watched the show, repeatedly, and then really been like, okay, who are these characters at their core? What are they? What are their motivations? What really is it? Because I could, if we transition to into And Just Like That, I couldn't tell you what Carrie's motivation is. I couldn't tell you what her purpose is, except for, and this is where I become annoyed too, is that they could have had this like depressed Carrie be in relation to the grieving process, but they never once tie the 2 together.
Do you think that Carrie, in her Carrie Sex and the City state, I think if I were to write her as in her 50s, I would think she'd get more kooky. I would like to think she'd be like an Amy Sedaris type, like a zany wearing, or like a dressing kind of clownish, or just a fabulous old New York broad.
At that point, too, you have been a sex columnist.
Right.
I would think that you would be the most sex positive person. That doesn't mean that you need to fuck a million people, but you don't need to act like a school marm when someone brings up like the idea of like something sexual.
She's so vanilla now, and I don't think that Carrie, maybe she would have done that, but she did seem to try to go against the big trying to buy her that studded purse. She doesn't want to be like that. She wants to be original.
I don't think they were going for this, but maybe. Maybe the idea here is that when you get $500 million, you completely lose sight of who you were before.
It's impossible
you lose your personality. You lose any semblance of reality, because, again, starting back to where we were just discussing, I felt like I could, even in the most minor ways, see myself in the character of Carrie. Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City, I cannot see myself in her at all. It's
and just like that, you mean?
Yeah, and just like that. It's bizarre almost. And I know it's a dumb little thing, but like when Miranda is there and she eats the yogurt,
yeah,
and Carrie is butthurt about like her friend of 30 years eating her yogurt. What are we showing that? Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, who are we what character are you creating by saying this person's butthurt at their friend for eating a yogurt of theirs?
they had little hints of her being a little kooky in in the Tragically Hip episode where she gets her surgery and she has like pearls on in the like things like that could have. But here's what I think.
Remember in the writer's room when they said when she wears the pink hat to do the podcast thing and she's acting more like normal Carrie that we know, they're saying that is like crazy Carrie.
Yeah, and like Shay and Bobby Lee are like, whoa, Carrie.
And it's like, that was what Sex and the City used to be. We watched Samantha fish out her diaphragm. And when we watched it, it was like, oh, girlhood. And now you want us to watch it and be like, oh my God, she's crazy because she took painkillers.
Yeah. Do you think that a major problem, though, is that all of us that got so mad and there's so much backlash from all of us that grew up we're obsessed with this show. The difference here is that Michael Patrick King and these writers wrote this shit. But I don't think they were going back and rewatching this shit. We, the fans, were rewatching every episode 75 times. So we actually know the character way better than Michael Patrick King, even though he thinks that, well, we wrote it. But yeah, you wrote it, but like we know it.
Like we've all watched, if you're a Sex and the City fan, you've watched all the seasons at least 10 times.
At least.
So yeah. But I think that also ties into this idea of
mad. Oh, sorry.
I think it ties into the general idea of like they made And Just Like That without being like, I've got a story to tell. They just made it to make it. And I can't say that that's probably the most successful route to take when you're trying to create a story. If you don't feel any passion behind really, you're just doing it to do it. That isn't, because I think they
kind of comes across as a money grab when you do it that way too.
All they did for Carrie was they thought about her first episode and that's about it. Well, Big's gonna die, and then
because that's what was gonna happen in the movie.
But they didn't think about how that would then reverberate through all the other pieces. And again, I would be more understanding if she was like, I wake up alone every day, like anything to do with her grief process. But they almost just glaze over that.
I would have loved to have her as her grieving goes, because this is reality. This is exactly what Big would have done to her, is if every episode she's kind of looking through his stuff and she's finding out all this stuff about him, like, what? And then she really becomes empowered, like, fuck this, fuck men. I am a New York girl. I'm taking back my life. And then we get to watch her. But that's the ending they think they gave us, though, right? With her dancing suicidally in her living room.
See, I would have rather they take the grief part and be like, okay, well, she's kind of going crazy, and now she's like, I gotta fuck or something. Let me fill what I'm missing. Why not take that route? What they've done is they've taken the woman route, where she's an old lady who lives in a house and like sitting there wrapped in a blanket. Like, I don't know.
And going, not too much.
Literally, like.
And then the one thing they have a throwback to the series is that they have her get back together with Aiden, which was just, it seemed like, oh, that's a no-brainer because we get to see them together. But then like the way they managed to fuck that up it needs to be studied.
That clearly was a fuck. We got to get ratings. So how do we get our ratings going? We'll bring Aiden.
We need to do And Just Like That ruined Aiden episode, by the way.
Good idea.
Because wow. I wonder how John Corbett feels. If you really asked him, because this is your legacy. This is what you're known for. This and My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but mostly this. And like
the hand licking.
Wyatt, the way he behaved during Apples to Apples, just acting like insane and like just making all these crazy noises.
It unfortunately all ties back to this thing of like, they could have done anything.
Shower
I'm gonna get that tattooed on me, and I'll be like,
anything.
they could have done anything.
Yeah.
Because they could have fucking done anything. They could have had Carrie be the coolest nightlife socialite, everything, and they decided to sack her away in an apartment writing about how depressing her life is.
Right.
Who wants to watch that?
No one. And the problem is that the whole show centers around Carrie. She's the nucleus of the group. So you have her acting boring. So if she was acting a little more broad and everyone else around them wouldn't seem as like Miranda's storyline might actually fit into the vibe a little better.
Agreed.
And Charlotte act like with the tampon, all that stuff. Like it would make more sense in the vibe of the show. But since Carrie's such a depressing character,
I think that has to do with Sarah Jessica Parker's influence.
I wonder because they are all still. Kristen Davis was just on. Was it Jennifer Hudson?
Drew Barrymore, I think.
And she was like, we were floored. Like they're still going on. Like recently, this past week, they're saying
I could see her being surprised, but for MPK to say that, well, those are two different arguments because Kristen Davis said she was surprised and MPK said he chose to end it. So you didn't tell your actors like, hey guys, I wrote this.
Well,
like,
it's just another example of them all throwing him under the bus. That's why I think that they are going to split off and do that. I have to believe that. It can't end this way.
Unfortunately, I don't think the show was ever going to work without Samantha. Sorry. I think when we talk about a nucleus and we talk about the group and whatever, Samantha was the reason that the other characters got to be whatever they wanted, whatever going to be. Because Samantha added that layer of like over the topness and everything where it then like, I don't know. I fucking hate Carrie now on the show. And honestly, if they do another version of this, I don't want to watch it unless you are going to change the character.
If Michael Patrick King isn't evolved and everyone else comes back. But I think Sarah Jessica Parker is so effing charming that she could have pulled this off. I watched First Wives Club recently. By the way, R.I.P. Diane Keaton. We should have talked about that, by the way. Jesus Christ. But
I literally dropped my phone when I saw that.
I got to tell that to you.
Shook. I could not believe it.
I know, crazy. But in First Wives Club, Sarah Jessica Parker is just
hilarious
and like such a hateable character, but like you are rooting for her still because she's so charming. And like, so she could have done this. She played Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress. She's like a kooky character actress.
Why'd they do this?
I don't know. I don't know.
It really is. It comes down to that. Like they chose to do that. They chose to make her be that. And again, I would give them a tiny bit of understanding if it was tied to her grieving, but they never once, never not motherfucking once in 3 seasons do they say, hey, you're different. Yeah, well, I just lost my fucking husband. I mean, like, even that would have made me be like, okay.
She was boring in the episode where Big was still alive. She was acting awful.
They're standing in the kitchen and she's like, what kind of record do you want to play tonight?
Yeah, like what if they'd made her just like kooky the way Carrie would have been, and maybe Big has leaned to her and it just works because it always worked that way. But it seemed like she has just now kowtowed to him and his riches. And like, I don't want to see that as a woman. Actually, I think it's important for women to see that you can just remain to be yourself.
Yeah, but then when they at the end tried to do that, I guess as the woman realized she was not alone. She was on her own.
No one's gonna love you. You're gonna have to learn to be okay being by yourself because no one's gonna put up with you if you just.
Well, thank goodness she came to that conclusion in the last 5 minutes. I mean,
it was the story you wanted
like to tell. A class action lawsuit needs to happen. Pain and suffering
Finger bang
And
scene. Finger bang scene, especially.
what is it called? Irreparable damage, bitch. This is all so annoying because I do think that when we do these like reviews and stuff, I'm sure that there are people who listen to this and they're like, oh my God, they're so negative. They like, God, can't they be like not so negative? And it's like, the reason we're negative is because of shit like this and what they've done.
We love this show. We love this show.
Exactly. And that's what I'm like.
Look at this. This is us attending the movie at midnight when it came out. And like, we fucking love this show.
We were in it to win it on this shit. And so it's just still disappointing. I mean, the show was canceled 3 months ago at this point, and I'm still disappointed. But
all right, well,
join us really live on
this
Fridays,
made me more
guys.
upset, but maybe next week we'll do Aiden because I could really rip it. I mean, that could really be.
Oh, I could do that today, actually, but
right. Well, tomorrow we'll be doing it. All right, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us on the weekly roundup. Make sure that you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/pod in the city. Oh, sorry, we both clicked it at the same time, Joan. Make sure that you subscribe, subscribe, like, and share. You can also follow us on Instagram if you want. We never say that, but we do have an Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Where we post when things are coming up, lives. And you guys, you know what? Come every Friday. We do a little like live stream where we all talk about the episode that
that week's episode that we're about to recap. It's like a morning after plan B
break it down. And we're coming to the end of that season, but then once we're at the end of it, just like that season 1, we're going, John, I think we're both gonna be in better moods because it's been a lot of ends like that in a long season.
Though we did get a comment that said, I want you guys to rewatch all the rest of Angela's.
For sure we will, baby. But right now we need to just kind of, when you're like doing like a tasting and they give you a thing of coffee beans to just like neutralize yourself. Mm-hmm. We're going to go back to season 4, Sex and the City, which is Carrie's 35th birthday.
We're going to really get that Sex and the City enema going, and we're going to be living our best life.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, have a wonderful week. Bye. I guess let's put up the roundup.
Bye.